From shaving her head back in 2007 to her very publicized conservatorship scandal, Britney has always been at the heart of the controversy. But sometimes it's too much for even Miss Spears to handle. She had to call out fans who literally did the unthinkable. Here's what happened. Britney Spears fans felt the need to call the police on her.
David. And where did you meet David?
I met him at a party.
Mm-hmm. And did he come up to you or did you go to him?
Well, my friends brought me up to him.
Oops, she did it again. That's what jumps to my mind each time the pop singer is in the headlines. No, really, folks, it's like she lands from one scandal to another, and I'm starting to think that maybe the real problem is, well, us, the fans. We've been obsessed with America's sweetheart ever since she was a kid, and even at the ripe old age of 41, people just can't seem to want to leave her alone. And yeah, she's a put-on-a-show kind of girl, but the curious singer is still, at the end of the day, just a girl. And that's what people forget when dealing with celebrities. Now, you might be wondering why I am getting all preachy, but the latest events have triggered this whole rant.
It is so good to see you. Hey, you look great in all your poison ivy rashes from camp. They're all gone.
Because while the hashtag Free Britney movement may have freed her from the conservatorship she was imprisoned in, the poor woman is still not free from society's morbid obsession with her. And what's worse is that this time, the perpetrators came wearing the mask of friendship, her literal fans. Her fans literally sent cops to her house, and Britney was furious. Yikes! Now that's an invasion of privacy, and the reason will surprise you. Let's look at why the fans needed to call the cops. If any of you have protective parents.
And you are performing in front of Britney Spears?
Yes.
It is.
Yeah, no, it's interesting.
It is not.
To end up seriously breaching your personal space under the innocent guise of care and concern, you can probably understand her sentiments a whole lot better. Also, my sympathies. That being said, the reason was so ridiculous that it honestly made me wonder what they were thinking. Apparently, her fans were concerned that Britney was still in a hostage situation, that her social media was being controlled by someone else. People felt disturbed by the seemingly strange things that she'd post. But come on, guys.
I don't really see it as a comeback. I think I've never really left. I've always been here. So, just like maybe a reinvention of myself.
This is the same lady who popularized the miniskirt with the school uniform trend. Since when has Britney not behaved in ways that were kind of peculiar? That's part of the package. The videos weren't the trigger point, though. Guess what finally pushed her concerned fans off the edge? It was the fact that she changed her name to River Red and decided to deactivate her account. Apparently, her decision to no longer be on Instagram sent her fans into a frenzy, and they decided to send cops over. It makes sense that she wouldn't take it well.
I think it was instant. Yeah.
With both of you?
Yes.
So did you see each other did you spend the rest of the party with him?
Yeah.
Well, what she had to say was perhaps a little too harsh. What do you guys think? Are the fans who sent cops to Britney's house even real fans? Well, the Princess of Pop has herself declared that these people aren't truly her fans. Who are we to disagree? But I do want to hear her side of the story a bit more, because despite what everyone says about her being absolutely rockers, she made some very good points. For starters, the whole thing was a breach of her privacy. She's a grown ASS woman with children, and all her life she's been overprotected.
Oh, and by the way, you forgot your mermaid pillow in your bunk. Here, I brought it with me.
Come on, folks. She literally wrote a song about it. Take a hint. Now, do you understand why, for someone who recently just won her freedom, this form of surveillance over her choices may come off as suffocating? I mean, all she did was deactivate her social media. Did it warrant having to explain to cops what's been going on in her life? You see, it's natural for her to feel violated.
I thought he was kind of rude.
He was kind of rude?
Yeah, that's, the idea that he gives when he's on the show. But,
She even went as far as to say that she adores her fans. But these people don't deserve that status. It's control under the fake pretense of care. And besides, her reasons for wanting to deactivate made perfect sense. Curious to know why the singer chose to leave Instagram? You're about to find out in the next section. Britney felt really judged by the comments on her post. If you've been keeping up with the social media of the toxic singer, you'd know that a lot of her posts were, cryptic to say the least. She would also post lots of videos of herself just spinning or dancing the way she did in her youth. Oh, and of course, there was a whole lot of skin on display.
I honestly do. It's like my second home. I'm here for 6 weeks and I go home for 6 weeks, and it's like...
And hey, I am not one to judge. That's her choice. Hashtag free Woohoo! But not a lot of people had the same sentiments as I do. A lot of her fans seemed to think that she had actually completely lost the plot. Others believed that her social media was hijacked by someone else. There were also some speculations about a clone, but then again, that one seemed like a stretch. Either way, this is a woman who is just trying to be wild and free and express herself on her own terms. And that too, for the first time in her life, after years of being someone else's puppet. Reading those comments really hurt her, and she chose to protect herself. It started with deactivating comments and ending with her inevitable exit from Insta. This is the explanation that she gave in her own words. Miss Britney said that she's a sensitive girl. Oh, we've known, ma'am. But she also said she just wanted to live her life away from the limelight. Okay, fair. It's either that or we can humor the conspiracy theories for a bit and entertain the idea that a clone may have taken over the face of America's sweetheart. Whatever the case may be, I do want to play the devil's advocate for a second and wonder, can we really blame her fans for being concerned? Okay, yes, I am about to shift stance entirely, but hey man, I am an empath and want to at least understand where her fans are coming from. To be fair, her videos and posts were a tad eccentric, to say the least. In one of her posts, she even invited her mom for coffee and told her parents she finally crossed the border. Now, we don't know if this was a metaphor, but this is just one example of how strange her captions were getting. And the content of the videos itself was disturbing. Like, she literally ate cake off the floor in one of her videos. She also talked about finally being treated as an equal. Who knows, guys? Maybe all of it was artistic genius. Maybe it's just all the trauma she's been through surfacing in strange ways. Whatever the case may be, given people's obsession with classifying things into neat little categories, her behavior was bound to raise a few eyebrows. That being said, sending cops to her house was still a little too much, don't you guys think? But all of this raises a very important question. Is Miss Britney genuinely okay? Okay, this question is like Pandora's box and is bound to lead to so much arguing on both sides because so many people have so many opinions. But the only opinion that should count is that of the lady herself, and she seems to claim that she's in good health, finally living her best life. Good for you, girl. In fact, during a recent interview, she stated that she just wanted to go off the grid and continue her ice cream diet, which works surprisingly well apparently. Maybe I should try it. Anyway, if we're all being fully honest, she has gone through a lot. It does make sense for her behavior to sometimes not make sense, but as long as she's happy, right? Maybe we should live and let live. On that note, it's a wrap. See ya!
Well, I actually wasn't doing anything that hard. I was just kind of bopping around, and
Right.
I've done like 8 years worth of shows. I mean, plenty of shows, and
Right.
I've never actually fell on stage.